This is why I'm so sure President Trump will be declared the official winner of the 2020 elections. Understand, while some people think I'm delusional, in denial, a crazy Trump supporter who can't deal with reality, a Trump worshiper, etc., I'm actually none of the above. First of all, I only worship God above. I do not worship any man, and definitely not any political leader. Even when I support a political leader, I am 100% confident that he or she is flawed, not a perfect person at all, and not even necessarily a role model for my children, even if the media only shows us their positive side. I only support a political leader because in the world of politics, which is a very ugly world, I support the person or party whose overall policies I support and I believe will be the best to deal with the ugly world of politics and do the best job possible in implementing them for the benefit of all of us. So why am I so sure President Trump will be declared the winner of the 2020 elections? It's because I have connected the following dots. So again, bear with me and follow through. Number one, first of all, after following President Trump and watching countless of videos of him being interviewed as a citizen going back to the 1980s, I really believe the man is brilliant. Decades ago, Citizen Trump was vocal in speaking out about the geopolitical challenges of America and the horrendous internal political problems with American politicians who make the situation even worse for America and fellow Americans, not better. I don't underestimate President Trump, as I didn't underestimate former President Obama. Yes, I believe Trump is brilliant. And as an outsider to politics who is using his brilliance to outsmart career politicians, there is a method to everything he does and says. He thinks a few steps ahead of everyone else. People might disagree with his policies, hate what he does, what he says, or even how he says it, but there is an actual purpose to it all. Number two, President Trump has been calling out potential election fraud in the United States elections since 2012. This is not a new issue for him, nor for the mainstream media. Back in 2018, potential voter fraud in Georgia was headline news. And this is by the Republicans and Democrats alike talking about it. As the byline of this Guardian article actually states, quote, voter fraud, something that has plagued Georgia in its history. It's history. So how come all of a sudden in the 2020 elections, all of the mainstream media is reporting that potential voter fraud is an impossibility and automatically fake news? It makes no sense. Hence, I'm sticking with the fact that Trump has been consistent while it's been mainstream media that has changed its tune for this election. Number three, since becoming president, President Trump has tried to focus on fixing potential voter fraud issues, including a Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity he set up back in 2017. However, none of those efforts actually bore fruit. Number four, finally, President Trump was extremely vocal about potential voter fraud before the 2020 elections. So when I put all of these dots together, I'm quite certain that President Trump put together a plan to catch the voter fraud in action during the 2020 elections. There is no better way to fix an issue of potential voter fraud and also receive the public support to fix the issue of potential voter fraud than to catch the perpetrators of voter fraud in the act, as well as collect hardcore, undeniable proof that it took place. That is exactly why I think President Trump will be declared the winner of the 2020 elections. He for sure put together such a plan and right now is going through the motions, collecting all the evidence to prove it. At the right time, the evidence will be presented, and I believe it will be a bombshell. Now, I do not believe Trump is a baby who wants to hold on to power at all costs. No, not at all. I believe 100% that President Trump believes that stopping potential future voter fraud in America is the most important issue to save the democratic system of the American Republic. Trump does not want to win the election to just remain president. He wants to prove voter fraud so that then he has the public mandate as president to enforce the necessary changes to the election process and stop potential voter fraud in future elections. Of course, I could be wrong. But this is my analysis based on putting all the above dots together. Dots that the mainstream media, and hence most people trusting of the mainstream media, prefer to ignore. And once again, the reason I'm so vocal about the US elections is that it has a huge impact on the whole freedom-loving world, not just on America. And a Biden win would mean a win and carte blanche for the continuing dangerous and growing censorship, cancel culture left in mainstream media and social media that is already translating into actual violence in the streets of America against people they disagree with. While this has started in America, it would grow in Israel and other democratic countries as well. Already, Israeli mainstream media outlets are celebrating the censorship they see American mainstream media and social media platforms enforcing against conservative right-wing voices in the name of fighting fake news. And they, here in Israel, are laying the groundwork to do the same thing here in Israel. That is why I'm so vocal. The result of this election affects us all in a huge way. But I'm not worried, because I believe President Trump will be declared the winner, and he will have the evidence to make the necessary changes to put in place the changes that will stop potential voter fraud in the future. Now we just have to wait and see.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.